Well, one of the things that we wanted to get to is the fact that you do have a website, and it's well put together. I want to commend you on that, and particularly point out that you're all about bringing nonprofits and for-profits together. So give them that site now, and
Okay.
you know.
Well, thanks for that. The website is texasgreennetwork.org. 3 words, texasgreennetwork.org.
Rick, it's not .com. What's
Except
that
I'm
about?
Reed. Except I'm Reed.
I mean, Reed. Uh-oh.
That was the outsider. The insider
Little
in there.
Freudian slip. Sorry, Reed.
Well, Rick will appreciate that. He was making a comment to me the other day, totally joking. Actually, it was around Christmas. He was joking that he used to go to events and everyone would, hey, this is Rick at environmental type events. And he's commented proudly but disgruntled that now it's instead of, hey, this is Rick, now it's, hey, this is Reed's dad. Exactly. So he'll appreciate the confusing name.
Sorry about that. No, but I was surprised when I went to your website the first time that you're not .com. So why did you make that decision?
Well, I mean, .org is a lot of people think of it as a nonprofit heading. I've done a lot of research into that and realized that it's really about what the intent of the entity is, and so changing it to something else just didn't make sense to us. If that's where your question is directed. We did start out as a nonprofit and then dropped that status. And one of the things that I discovered along the way was that what we're trying to do, there is no exact blueprint for it. There's one other entity in San Francisco that's doing a similar thing. They call themselves the Green Chamber, and they're trying to develop on national level chapters. Nobody else that I've really seen that's anywhere near as far along with this type of a concept. And one thing that I discovered through the process of trying to run things as a nonprofit and trying to run things through a board of directors is that when you have a pretty new, cutting-edge type of idea, a lot of the momentum and things that you're trying to do, the creativity gets watered down to the lowest common denominator. It kind of almost gets watered down to the least creative person in the room, and so it gets really hard to that. Like I said, we've had a lot of comments about how creative the events that we do are with the teams of 6 that you mentioned. We have open mic nights at our events where anybody can walk up and tell everyone what they're doing so that they can find them later. A lot of the creative approach that we've had just hasn't moved forward in kind of that group think kind of thing. So I think nonprofits are appropriate in a lot of places. It just wasn't the right thing for us, and to kind of and that kind of falls in with the concept of TGN as well, because we're talking about bringing supporting this free market economy and supporting the profit incentive for businesses to become more sustainable and helping promote and grow all these private sector businesses. To me, I sit easier knowing that we are a completely bootstrapped, completely volunteer effort that is not a nonprofit. It's almost on a higher level to me and more pure than someone that has an injection of capital coming in through whatever source. There's not accountability that's always direct to that source of money.
I think Jenny is vibrating right along with you on that.
Okay.
Ding, ding, ding.
Haven't you shared that similar philosophy, Jenny?
Absolutely. It's good. I think that's why I enjoy your gatherings so much, Reed.
Well, cool.
That very
thanks.
Positive spirit and win-win.
It's an amazingly enthusiastic crowd and passionate crowd. And one thing that I found from the beginning is that, maybe I'll take this opportunity to talk about the teams of 6, because it's one of the popular functions that we have at our monthly events that kind of ties into what we're talking about here. I was talking about how my experience that I brought to starting TGN was as much about networking as it was about sustainability. And I've had vast experience with going to networking events and finding that people are kind of stumbling around with a stack of business cards, handing them to everybody, and hoping that for no reason at all, somebody that they handed a business card to is going to suddenly become a business referral source for them, and they're going to have some kind of connection. Well, it just isn't true, and I think a lot of people don't get what they're looking for in those types of networking things. And the extroverts are the people that do well in those environments, and I've never had a problem with that, being an extrovert.
But we appreciate you being concerned for the people that aren't set up that way.
Well, yeah. So what
this format of the 6 people.
Right. So instead of walking into a place hoping to make 50 new friends, you sit down at a table with 5 other people and really do make 5 contacts that evening.
Wow.
And that's the experience I've had. The first time we did that was actually at our first – well, no, it wasn't our first time, but our first time that it really came into its own was doing our 6-person groups at the last time we had an event at Austin Energy. And we did silly little activities that get people just talking about themselves and get them talking and interacting with those other 5 people. And I got goosebumps when the meeting was adjourning, and in one field of vision at one time, I could see, I would say, 8 to 10 pairs of people enthusiastically shaking hands and saying, "I'm going to see you next week. All right, so we're going to lunch tomorrow," and it was really inspiring to see that. And so that's something that we've stuck with, and we've realized, you know what, this is a pretty cool little format for our meetings. And so it's something it won't be at every meeting, but it's going to be at a lot of them, including the meeting next Thursday. It'll be one of the things that we're doing.
And I would say networking is actually the cornerstone of sustainability, I would say.
Well, how do we get our word out? There's a lot of mail that gets sent, and that's not a good answer, right? A lot of paper in our mail.
That's a little networking. I mean, that's networking by mail.
Well, and the social media thing is such a big boon to and that fits in with the whole. So I've been really, really into the social media thing. I'm no expert on it, but I'm learning everything I can as fast as I can because I see it as one of those new ways of networking.
Oh my gosh!
That really creates, really uses the web. And
oh my gosh, yeah.
So
I've actually crowdsourced tech support via Facebook and gotten answers in seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm using Facebook to put out my meme about electricity conservation in a fun way.
Great, yeah. There's so many things you can do, and we're just seeing the beginning of it.
Right.
So my goal is to stay plugged into it enough that we can use all of the ways that we can become more efficient as they emerge. I'd like to be there and be
sure. Well, Jenny got me on Facebook a little over a year ago, and it's really made a difference for me. We have LinkedIn, which has come on board. In the meantime, are you a twit?
I personally am not a twit or a Twitter or a tweeter or whatever.
Tweeter.
Yeah, we do have a lady named Carolyn Cummins who's been doing all of our tweeting for us. I've been dealing more with the LinkedIn stuff and the Facebook stuff, which I understand better. I quite honestly don't understand Twitter completely.
I don't either.
Why and how it exists, really.
Weird concept.
Yeah, I mean the structure of it is a little alien to me as compared to Facebook. So that's what I've been dealing with more. But I mean, every day, 20 people are now following us on Twitter or joining the Facebook group of Texas Green Now. So it's really cool. I mean, you kind of get some real time knowledge of who's checking you out because so many people check you out online.
Well, and in a sense, you're similar to us. We're a nonprofit in Design, Build, Live, and for that matter, the permaculture group is even more in this vein. But we're all kind of spin-offs of the reputation that we've created here in Austin through the Green Building Program and Austin Energy's, for another reference back to Roger, and the fact that we've been on the cutting edge for quite a while now, and people seek us out globally. So,
yeah. Well, go ahead.
One thing I was going to say I really liked is you said you have fun in the beginning. As adults, we don't really have little times for fun. We're being silly.
Right.
And I actually went to a retreat this last weekend, and we spent the first part of the weekend just being sort of silly and having fun. And you could see the people that were wound up tight, they had their hands behind their back and weren't participating. Yeah. But by the end, they were all over the place. And just being silly is even.
Well, I think that I have no intention of growing up. I'm in my early 40s, and I made it this far without. And if you look at my father, everyone knows that I'm not going to grow up if he's the model for where I'm headed. So
it's mandatory.
So did you grow up in that beautiful, I guess you were already an adult by the time we got the straw bale house out on the river.